Here we have Zhendong ready to come out onto court for this men's singles final. Zhendong from China. Zhendong, the #1 seed, world ranked #1, and hot property in world table tennis. And his opponent, the one and only Dragon, Ma Long from China. Well, we've waited a while to see this matchup again between probably the two best players in the world right now, Ma Long and Zhendong. Players shaking hands. Umpire Yoko Gonde just making the toss. Looks like Ma Long has won the toss. Zhendong has chosen which end to go to. So Satyan, in that situation, what are the players really looking for when they win the toss? Are they going to serve? Are they going to receive? What's the...
Everyone has their own perspective, but as a player, I would always prefer receive. That's because when it's 9-9, you get your serve. So that's the motto. But some people like to start on their serve. So, but most of them, I think, the top players would go for receive.
And we've noticed that yes, during this tournament, a lot of players have chosen to receive first.
Yes.
We see the players there now just making preparations. They're in the corners by themselves, China versus China, so they won't have any advisors during the game. But these players obviously pretty experienced and they'll have their tactics worked out. So, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think both of them would know their game, each other so well. So it's about staying focused, and who's mentally sharp on that particular day probably will take the match.
Yes, I mean, there's not much in this, but I mean, the only thing is when you look at the head-to-head on the World Tour, you see that Ma Long leads 13-1. That is that's an incredible record against Zhendong.
Yes, definitely. They're the best two players in the world, but Ma Long is class apart, and he's always holding an edge, I would say, against Fan.
So you really think that? So you think that Ma Long is that much ahead? Yeah, he's a class ahead.
Yes, definitely. I think an advisor sitting against Ma Long, I still wonder what would he be saying that what to play against Ma Long.
Well, you were out there, mate. You were out there, and what were you saying to yourself?
I just enjoyed the match. I think I didn't go ahead with any kind of strategy or something. I said you have to take this opportunity and go on play our best. So the advisor was sitting for my match was also like, just enjoy the match and keep fighting till the end.
And I didn't get a chance to commentate on that match, and you did look like you enjoyed it. You played some nice backhands down the line, though, I noticed. You got him a few times out there on that wide forehand.
Yes, I think that was one of the strategies that worked really well, because I had a good backhand and I thought I should take him fast on the forehand corner. So, but then that worked only for a game, and then he started to catch up.
Yes, and so Zhendong, I mean, I guess he'll have his own strategies. We saw these players face off in the World Championship singles final. That was an absolute epic with Ma Long just getting over the line, juicing the 7th game after Zhendong had some match points. And the big thing that I noticed in that was just the difference between their receives. So Zhendong will get around and use his backhand flick as much as he can, whereas in that match Ma Long was using his forehand push on the return, and that seemed to be the big difference in the players.
Yes, definitely.
And so we see there Zhendong on the screen, representing China, age 22, ranked #1 in the world, seeded #1 for this event, right-hand attacker. Semi-finals at the Hungarian Open, quarter-finals at the World Tour Grand Final, semi-finals in Austria, winner of Sweden and winner of the last Men's World Cup. And of course, making the final here, has qualified himself to play in that World Cup again this year. And his opponent needs no introduction. He is considered to be one of the greatest of all time, Ma Long from China, age 30, ranking number 11 in the world, but we all know that that is a lie. And his last 5 tournaments, winner in Qatar last week, that was his signal that he's back. He's back on the world tour, he's back and ready. You see those other results there. But Ma Long now looks like he's back in top form. These players playing up. And have a look at that head-to-head, Safian. 13-1.
Yeah, that's really surprising. You know, that's a good stat. Even I was not aware of it. But that makes everyone aware how good Ma Long is.
Yes, but having said that, I've seen a few China Super League matches where Fan Zhendong has won. There we have the umpire, Kyoko Gondo, and assistant Midori Furuya in charge of this match. So players just getting themselves ready. Ma Long just cleaning his bat, just tapping it. What's he doing there?
Oh yeah, he's getting ready to get some hard ones, I guess.
Just getting his bat ready, huh? You're going to cop some balls at a very fast pace, is what he's saying.
First game,
yeah.
Fun to serve, level.
So the crowd encouraging these players. Fan Zhendong serving first. And backhand to backhand. Ma Long taking the supremacy there. So both these players, I mean, this is a big title for them, the Asian Cup. Oh, and Ma Long, strong start over the table, strong into the forehand. So, in a backhand-to-backhand situation, who do you fancy with these two players?
Yeah, Fan's definitely better on the backhand-to-backhand side, but Ma Long has a better forehand, so. I could see a change in Ma Long's backhand-to-backhand. You know, I think he's gotten better from before, so it's not going to be easy for Fan as well.
It looks to me like Ma Long really targets just that wide backhand and middle area whenever he gets into that backhand-to-backhand rally with Fan. So there he's serving more into the middle. So they're starting that ball out wide. Fan able to cope with it. Ma Long 3-1. So that's a heavy backspin?
Yes. Doesn't look like so.
Yeah, it looks so smooth and easy, that action.
Yeah, the disguise in their serve is something which is very difficult to judge.
Wow. And the other thing that really strikes me watching Fan Zhendong is just the use of his legs. I mean, he's just always so low.
Yes, definitely. The main advantage is, everyone has 2 flanks, and the middle is something where we catch up, but this guy has like 3 flanks, and he plays so much of quality from the middle as well.
Have you had a chance to play Fan Zhendong?
No, not really. I played Sushin and Ma Long, and Zhang Chike, of course.
When you say, of course, there's millions of people out there that would just kill to have had that opportunity. We're in for a good one.
They've been waiting for this for so long.
That backhand from Ma Long halfway through that rally, when he crosses over here, and that one was just a bridge too far. So Ma Long going into the middle there, but Fan Zhendong able to cover that and play a strong backhand into the Ma Long forehand area. So we see there Fan Zhendong serving short to the forehand. Ma Long persisting with the forehand push, allowing Fan Zhendong in.
Let 4-6. Let 4-6.
Couple of lets in a row. Still a let. Often common thought out there in table tennis land is that if you serve 2 lets, you lose the point. No, certainly don't. Still a let. That's a strong backhand. Interestingly, the stat from that World Championship final was that both players lost more points when they made the first attack. That serve going really wide, really stretching Fan Zhendong wide on the backhand corner. Let's have a look how far wide it goes. Zhendong, even he couldn't reach that wide ball. So back to 6-all. Fan Zhendong's been sort of the man in waiting for a long time. And even though he's number 1 at the moment, I think people still feel like Ma Long is number 1, as you said.
Yes, I mean, Ma Long has been there for a long time, you know. You could see he's been in the top level for so long time, and Fan has just arrived. I think he'll get his due very soon.
So Ma Long absolutely teeing off on that one.
Now you know why he sees Ma Long.
Wow. He seems to be targeting that wide backhand area of Fan Zhendong early with the push. He's not allowing him to come around and play his banana flick.
Yes, he's indeed targeting his corners, especially the back inside corner, I think.
That rally, he's just so good. He just seems to be able to cover the court well, Ma Long. Look at that, into the forehand. Then finding the error on the backhand side. Pumping the fist, shaking the arms out.
Good. 7-9.
A little bit change up of serve there.
Yes, I mean, Ma Long serves seems so simple, but you know the direction and the spots which he picks is phenomenal. I mean that is the only thing I think which makes the opponent really difficult to start off with.
That time, and getting right around, using his backhand from the middle forehand area. Both players wiping their hands on the table, just taking time, getting prepared, getting ready for the next point. That little change-up of pace there was clever by Ma Long.
That is what I think has improved after this break. I could see there's a big change in his backhand point. With a lot of pace and sometimes, and then the slow down. When I played him, that was certainly very different.
So 2 game points now for Ma Long. First game, men's singles final. That time serving short to the forehand. Fan Zhendong in with his backhand. He likes that ball. Still one more game point available for Ma Long. Where will he serve here? Will he go wide to the backhand? Will he go back into that forehand area? Let's see. Well, wide to the backhand gets the result. And the first game in this epic men's singles final goes to Ma Long, 11-9. So players now taking their 1 minute. So in this 1 minute now, Satyan, what goes through their head? They've had a chance to see each other. What are they thinking about?
I mean, definitely I'll review for the first game. They would go on what went wrong and where I scored points, probably, and trying to change a little bit. It was a close game, and to have a good lead is something very, very important. And both of them are very experienced, so it would be fun to see them bringing out new tactics in the second game.
Do you think much will change? I mean, these guys must train with each other a lot.
I even saw them training just before the match with each other.
Were they out in the training hall?
Yes, in the training hall.
Wow. Well, there you go. So there's a bit of an insight. So these two players hitting up with each other prior to their match. So no secrets out here. So players now making their way out to court for game 2 of this men's singles final. 32nd Lion ITTF ATTU Asian Cup, Yokohama 2019. Ma Long leading 1-0.
Second game, Ma to serve, level.
That is a kicker of a backhand.
Yes, he targeted the middle part of Fan Zhendong. This was the backhand I was talking about. The kicker one and the slow one, which makes it really difficult.
You took a game off this guy, right?
Yes. Thank you.
I thought so.
Block 2.
Zhendong up to the task that time. Ma Long went into the middle area. Fan Zhendong read that, gave it back. Look at those legs. Are they legs? Are they tree trunks? That's the change-up. That must be so difficult to play against.
Definitely. I mean, with that pace and with that slowdown, and you don't know, whether to step around or stay and play back in.
Oh, getting the error that time. That short serve, middle forehand area. That's where Fan Zhendong's usually really strong. Ball going to the top of the net. And that time again, the backhand so strong. He's
just playing too good today from the backhand side as well, and Fan has literally no answer to it.
The way he's watching that ball and then just really whips through that backhand down the line, changing the direction, forcing Fan off his backhand line. Flipping the net on the way through, but using the flick on that occasion. Well,
6-2.
well, the return from Ma Long was just long. Fan Zhendong was going to push it, saw the opportunity, got in, and Ma Long was trying the old side spin block that time.
Yeah, the chop block.
Chop block. That must be difficult to play against. So Fan Zhendong coping with that little bit of change of pace there now. Do you think maybe he's starting to get used to that?
Yes, definitely. He's reading those backhand from Ma Long and.
Mm-hmm. Again, that change of pace, earning Ma Long the point. Ma Long vocal after that point. Liked it. Almost looks like he's playing that first one fast, next one slow as a bit of a pattern here. Does he need to change that?
Well, he does have some patterns, but when you keep starting that, then he keeps changing it. That's a big key in this game.
That's a great backhand down the line by Fan.
This is what I think Fan should be doing, going wide in his forehand. That's the only part where you get some points.
What, do you think he was watching you play him?
Probably. I got a lot of points in that area.
He's probably studied Nana Sekaran versus Ma Long, I think, prior to this match.
That's a honor for me.
Oh, that's just devastating. That is just so difficult to deal with. Do you think his time out he just spent hitting backhand slow, fast, three-quarters?
He's just dominating in the backhand as well. I mean, this must be very frustrating for Fan.
That's the area that he thought he could get him, right?
Exactly.
Oh, he pulled one of those backhands off earlier in the match. That's a great flick. Setting that up. Taking a little bit more time here, Ma Long. Bonus at this point is important. Difference between turnaround of 2 or 4 after this serve. Look at Ma Long just bouncing around. He's just really mixing Fan Zhendong up with that backhand area. Fan Zhendong tried the Nana Sekaran, but
he slowed it down on the slow ball, and Ma Long was ready for this, and he just stepped around and hit it hard.
So that serve.
Yeah. I mean, he's serving a little bit in a good length serve. I think that would not be so easy to return back shot.
Well, Fan's got himself back into this game. Good deep push there. Putting Ma Long under pressure early. So
9-7.
7-9. What do you say about that? That is just table tennis genius. Look at the speed there. Look at that. That ball's coming fast. He's able to hold his balance, take his time, and give it back with interest, setting up 3 game points for game number 2.
Let. 10-7.
Oh, good wide push by Fan. Caught Ma Long off guard. Even Ma Long couldn't get to that. Well, 8-10. What can Fan do here? Where's he going to serve? Well, Ma Long going for the backhand flick. Something he hasn't been doing much. Making the error. And back to a point. 9-10. Good serve there, Satya.
Very good serves. I think he targeted the right area, forcing the error from Ma Long.
Ma Long looked like he made pretty good position, but just didn't read the amount of backspin on it.
Exactly. I think he should have made a slower spin, and he went for the winner.
So 10-all. But Ma Long was up 8-4 in this game. And Zhendong moves to game point. Gets out of jail. Fan Zhendong takes the second game, 12-10. So this match all tied up. Ma Long leading 10-7 in that game, Satyan.
Yes, it looked like he was running away with the game, but then I think Fan pulled it off in a great way.
Yeah, so that those 2 serves that he did at 8-10 down. So he did one half long to the middle area
and one in the back inside.
Yep. And Ma Long didn't cope with either of them very well.
Yes, definitely. I think he didn't want him to take the shot and he wanted to open up the game.
So, well, Fan Zhendong turning things on its head right there. See that backhand attempt from Ma Long in that game. Fan Zhendong employing that banana flick return. Well, what do you think from here? So both players making their way back out onto court.
It's going to be a tight match. I think Fan is now picking up with the pace variation from Ma Long.
So both players out on court now, ready for game 3, men's singles final. Match standing at 1 game all. So Ma Long's been using that backhand variation really well. Fan Zhendong starting to get onto it. What can Ma Long do here?
He's going to step around more. And both of them are going to step around. You could see a lot of forehand coming up now.
Again, Ma Long using the backhand flick there.
I think he can step around with the forehand thing. That's what he should be doing to score more points. The backhand to backhand is not working today.
Big turnaround, last 5 points in a row. Going to Fan Zhendong. 10-7 down in the previous game.
Let's love 2.
Plenty happening there. What was going on in that rally?
That is so unlikely of a Chinese rally.
Look at that. That's a Koki Niwa rally. Yeah.
Yes, that's so different from Ma Long.
Is he starting to panic a little bit? Is he starting to try to do too much?
Yeah, he's trying different things, I guess.
So Fan Zhendong's definitely adapted now to that changes of pace. Starting to get a little bit predictable, and now Fan Zhendong starting to dominate, playing that ball down the line, changing direction. Does Ma Long have to change direction earlier?
Definitely, or he has to tip around. There has to be something there.
Well, he's taken your advice. He stepped around. You haven't got a direct line to him here, have you? He hasn't got a earpiece in. Can we check that out here? And now this is the dominance on the backhand to backhand side that you talked about before the match for Fan Zhendong.
Fan is now catching up on that. Ma Long is looking a little passive.
If you don't mind, Fan Zhendong has just launched into this forehand, and have a look at Ma Long. I'll just put that ball there, he said. Right there, that'll do.
Put some pace into that. He's done this serve quite a lot of times wide in the backhand.
Oh, I like it. That's the serve that he served at 8-10.
Yes, he went for a better option this time with the forehand, wide in the forehand of Fan.
Gave himself a little bit more table to play with. Just like that, Ma Long gets back into this game. Look at that ball into the middle. So smart with his placement.
Exactly, and so much of power. Looks like a rocket launcher.
What about when you're at the other end of the table?
Yeah, it's not so good to play Ma Long, definitely.
That's a good change of direction by Fan. Ma Long rejecting that ball, didn't like it. And there's the step around you were looking for.
Definitely. You will see a lot more again in the match.
One backhand that time and then step around, finish the forehand. My, oh my. What are you thinking when you see that wind-up of Ma Long?
When he's in position and when he's taking forehand, I think you have to get ready to pick up the balls.
It just depends which corner you go to pick it up, is that right?
Exactly. You could see the clever one now. He mixed up pace. He did the slow one. And this is what I think makes the life opponent very difficult. It's not about only hitting hard, but mixing pace.
Backhand starting to work again. One just kicked up a little bit more. Well, big turnaround in this game from love 4 to 9-6 up. Can Ma Long close this one out? Remember, he had 10-7 in the previous game. Oh, ho, ho.
7-9.
Add that to the highlights reel. That's impressive.
Definitely. That's a shot of the match till now.
7-9.
Well, we're in a similar position in the previous game. 9-6, 9-7. Are we seeing Ma Long tighten up? Was that?
That was a good one. I mean, he attempted a good one, but I think he just executed it better.
And Ma Long just feeling it a little bit, taking the time out. So you had 9-6 here. You had 9-6 in the previous game and couldn't close it out. So at 9-8, Ma Long goes to the chair, says, okay, let me have a little bit of time to think about this. So will he be thinking tactics? Will he be thinking about maybe just trying to calm himself?
I think he needs to calm himself down. He's playing the right tactic just to make less errors and stay focused in the match.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that ball unless Fan Zhendong does that to you.
You can't do anything much about that ball.
So at 9-8, Ma Long just having a little chat to himself, wiping down the sweat, just taking time. There's some of the Ma Long fan club, plenty of them around the world. They will be very happy to see this man back on the scene. They were happy to see him play you the other day.
Yes, definitely. It's been a long break for him.
So in the commentary with me, Sathian Nanasekharan, who lost to Ma Long 4-1 in this tournament earlier.
8-9.
Big point coming up. Fan Zhendong taking the initiative. Got around, used his forehand strongly. Back to 9-all. Fan Zhendong has been knocking on the door, you know, really wanting to take the mantle as the best player in the world. He's had #1 for a little while now, but I think people still feel like Ma Long is better. Is this going to be a turning point for him, do you think?
Yes.
Well, Ma Long said, not yet. I'm not ready to relinquish that crown. Pop this backhand. See if you can deal with that, he said. Bringing up game point. And a big yell from Ma Long. Happy to take that third game, close it out, 11 points to 9. Ma Long now leading 2 games to 1. Men's singles final action. Well, that was important for Ma Long, I think, to be able to close that.
That was a very important game for him, and I think he took an interesting timeout, and he came back very strong.
So the use of the timeout then, Satya, like, I noticed these players will use it whenever they feel like they need it, whether it's first game, second game, third game.
Yes, for sure. I think things have changed. Before it used to be like when you're losing and you want to just recover, people used to take time out. Now it's in the early part of the match that when it's swinging the other way and you just want to take the momentum back, and that's when you actually take time out. I also prefer taking time outs very early in a match.
And then, but do you think though, you get to the end of the match, you get to the 7th game and suddenly you haven't got your time out?
It would be fun to have 2 timeouts, but then, thinking about the 7th game, when you're losing momentum at the 3rd or 4th game, what if it doesn't go to the 7th game? That's what actually runs in our mind.
So players now back out onto court. This men's singles final, Asian Cup, between Ma Long, Fan Zhendong. Ma Long leading 2 games to 1. It's been epic so far. Plenty more to come, folks. Ma Long looked like he had the ascendancy halfway through here when he got that forehand in, but Fan Zhendong good enough. Look how far back he is from the table. So I notice, Sabian, you like to stay pretty close to the table most of the time. What's the advantage of staying close? What's the advantage of going back?
I think the speed of the game has gone up so much, so you can send the ball much faster when you're close to the table.
Oh,
that's advantage when you're close to the table.
That is such a big wind-up and such a powerful stroke. And so wide. That's cutting the sideline in half. Well, again, Fan Zhendong. Backhand down the line, leading 4-love. He led 4-love in game 3. Ma Long was able to come back and take it. That's a great change of direction with
Definitely,
the backhand. Yeah. Even Ma Long didn't see that.
Love 5.
Mixing up a lot now.
You're utilising that backhand. And you've seen that big forehand as well unleashed in this game. So, and Zhendong giving Ma Long lots of different looks at the ball. Good, powerful over the table.
That's only a Ma Long shot, Even if it's a short ball and he just comes close to the table and hits it anywhere in the table. It's phenomenal.
end up there? Did it flip the net on the way through, or was it?
Yeah, in this forehand, it just hit the net.
Clawing his way back again, Ma Long. So just that different trajectory that he gives the ball on the backhand. And, sorry, Fan Zhendong taking the time out. He was up 5-love.
Interesting.
Yeah, now 5-3. It is an interesting timeout.
Yeah, Ma Long was leading 10-7, and then when it was the same position, he took a timeout, and now Fan Zhendong is facing the same position, and he just called for a timeout.
Yeah, so Fan Zhendong just obviously just starting to doubt himself, maybe getting a few negative thoughts going through his head, losing those 3 points in a row.
Yes, he has to recoup because this game is certainly very, very important.
Yeah, so at the moment, Ma Long leading 2-1. His 4th game vital for Fan. So differences there. Ma Long sitting down, Fan Zhendong standing. So it's Fan Zhendong's timeout. So as soon as he goes back, the umpire will call time. Ma Long coming straight back out on the court. Would Ma Long get a bit of confidence out of that? Fan Zhendong taking the timeout, that, you know, maybe Fan Zhendong just starting to doubt himself?
Not necessarily, but he will also be guessing that Fan is going to do something different.
Wrong backhand. Interesting tactic there by Ma Long after the timeout, going for the long serve. Tried to surprise him.
Fan was ready.
Ready again, ripping that banana flick straight back at Ma Long. So 7-3 now, Fan Zhendong leading. Almost restored that lead that he had early in the game. Good flick there by Fan Zhendong.
Yeah,
something a little bit different.
It was a changer. I mean, a soft flack, you would call it probably, the backhand side. Same to you, how long was that?
Well, have a look at this. Fan Zhendong just puts his bat there. Bang. Take that. Well, that timeout at 5-3 seems to have paid dividends.
Yeah, he's got the momentum back and he's playing really good now.
Well, another ball down the line. We saw him finish the World Championships with something similar. He played that twice in a row here.
It's a treat to watch him go so wide in the backhand and then hit it really hard and wide in the forehand.
It's a treat unless you're at the other end, right?
Exactly.
Fan Zhendong wouldn't mind another little timeout here. Ma Long just starting to free up. I guess seeing this game is probably lost. And Marlong's just freed up. He started to hit a few.
Yeah, he's just hitting some shots, and Fan is also like expecting points, I guess. He has to score.
Oh, trying to down the line again, but way wide. And brings up 4 game points for Fan Zhendong to even this match up at 2 games all. If he can take one of these points. Marlong not happy with himself. Well, down the line again. Played down the line 3 times, and even the one he missed went down the line in that corner. A few forehands, 1 backhand.
Play, please.
Umpire just telling the players to hurry it up. And that backhand going long gives Fan Zhendong game 4. And this men's singles final, all even, 2 games all. Well, lots happening out there, Satyan.
Yes, it's going on an interesting battle. Both of them are just showing their quality every game.
Yeah, so we saw that first game, Marlong came out distinctly trying to just change up the backhand, really threw Fan Zhendong off. He was sometimes changing between fast and slow backhands. Then Fan Zhendong started to just adapt to that.
Exactly. I think that's what's about the Chinese, quickly adapting to the strategies, and we'll have to have probably plan A, plan B, plan C to play a 7-set over there.
And we've already seen a few plans come into action here, So then Marlong started stepping around, using his forehand more. Fan Zhendong has been ready on the backhand side and starting to get onto that. Then we saw just at the end of that 4th game, Marlong just trying to play that ball down the line from the pivot.
Exactly. That's because both of them are stepping around, and there'll be pressure if you can play that down the line.
So players ready now for game 5. This intriguing men's singles final, a matchup that we've been waiting for. Two games all.
5th game. Fan to serve. Love all. One love.
Good backhand opener to start. Plenty of top on it. Surely these two players are favourite to make the final in 3 weeks' time. It'll be the final of the
World Championships.
World Championships.
Yes, I think they're the best 2 players in the world for now.
So is this a bit of a prelude for us? Wow. So see there again, Marlong going down the line from the pivot. Definite change in tactic in the end of that last game. Look at the way that he hooks that arm around. Yeah. Zhendong getting vocal. He likes it. able to cope with those changes of pace. Ma Long not able to get around and use his forehand. Again, Fan Zhendong, dominant backhand to backhand.
Yeah, he's out now mixing up pace in the backhand.
One kicked up a little bit. A bit of a net through that rally as well, able to cope.
Yeah,
amazing.
that made the pace difference, I guess.
So as fans, I think, you know, we like to just see those balls travelling so fast, but just hearing the subtleties that are happening here in the match shows me just the difference between the class of these players.
Exactly. I mean, they're technically so strong. I mean,
Fan trying to come up with one of those backhands that Ma Long came up with early in the match. Being stretched. It's not where he wants to be, but had to go. Back to 4-all.
See a change of strategy from Fan as well. Now he's targeting his friend corner. Ma Long was doing the similar one to Fan.
Oh, it's interesting. That's something that he's done thousands of times before, but mucking up there. Just the smoothness of the way that Ma Long can pivot. I mean, it's almost in that same leg position and just moves his body around. Still gets so much power.
So fast. And you can go any direction in the table.
There's that fast serve. Ma Long takes the lead. Nose in front for the first time in this game. Ma Long pivoted down the line. That time, Fan Zhendong said, I am ready.
I'll take it.
Let's have a look. Fan Zhendong makes it. In fact, he did go to the backhand first.
Then but reacted well.
Yeah, unbelievable. That must take so much strength with the legs to be able to maintain that balance when your body's going one way, get back, and still hit that ball with so much power. 6-all. That's worth 2, surely.
Definitely.
You picked it there, Sokyan. Fan Zhendong now going the copycat down the line. Ma Long should have copyrighted it when he had the chance.
See the expression from Ma Long. He didn't expect that.
That's the Fan Zhendong fan club. Wow. The master is being outmastered. Okay, so Ma Long needs to make some decisions now. Where does he go with that pivot?
He has to go to the middle or probably wide back in the backhand, just like he did in the first set.
Oh, he tried to sneak that ball down the line. Have a look at that. Have a look at the angle here. Then one more wide backhand, and then he tried to just somehow get that ball down the line. Just couldn't do it.
That was a wild attempt.
Six, 9. Well, he's gone to the well again. And that time, was that a little bit faster, do you think?
Yes, I think he hit it more quicker and faster.
Just a little bit earlier?
Yes, striking it a little earlier makes a lot of difference. It gives less time for the opponent.
So let's just trust Ma Long. Let's see what he can do. Zhendong so strong here. Backhand topspin. Block error. 3 game points to Fan Zhendong. Well, he went for that. That was all or nothing on that backhand. So Ma Long's got some big thinking to do here. 8-10. Where does he go? What does he do with this serve? What direction?
Might be could be wide in the backhand.
And then which direction does he go if he gets a chance to pivot? Well, he went to the middle, made the error, and that's game. Fan Zhendong. Fan Zhendong leading now, 3 games to 2. Men's singles final. 32nd Lion ITTF ATTU Asian Cup. Well, Sathian, we've been absolutely treated so far. It's been so many little games within this match. Where do we go from here?
It's interesting. I think fans now picked up the ante and pulled out some extraordinary shots in the set. Let's see what Ma Long has in his pocket, like, you know, bringing out some of the different things.
Yeah, for me, those 2 forehand pivot balls, this one here, and then he made another one in this game. For me, really broke Ma Long because he had a bit of a tactic going. He even threw Fan Zhendong the wrong way once.
Exactly, I think that would have really surprised Ma Long. Fan picking up those powerful forehands.
But this is Ma Long. This is men's singles final. Fan Zhendong leading 3 games to 2. Can Ma Long come back?
The
crowd encouraging both players. They've been absolutely treated to unbelievable table tennis here.
Set. Double.
So that time, Ma Long going middle first.
Yes, and then back in corner again. So I think that's a good change of tactic.
He is listening to you, Sathian. You told him to do that in the last game. He didn't listen.
Probably should start paying me.
1-all.
Well, $100,000 up for grabs here at this tournament, so take your little cut.
From Ma Long. From both of them, actually.
Good. 2-1.
We're not talking rupees there either, are we?
No.
Nice backhand. Really took that early off the bounce.
That's a good one from Ma Long.
So that's what you were talking about earlier. He hit one of his forehands a little bit earlier off the bounce as well. That just gives your opponent less time.
Yes, I mean, that's the key, you know, taking the ball early.
And you can hear Fan just getting a little bit more vocal. He can really start to feel it. He's starting to feel that he's getting close here, I think. Ma Long, nice and calmly, just takes the backhand. Both players going to the towel. Lots more in store for us here, folks. 3-2 to Fan Zhendong. 3 all in this game. Can the great Ma Long pull this one out? Of course he can, but will he? Will Fan Zhendong get his second win against Ma Long after 14 meetings? This is meeting number 15 on the World Tour. 13-1, remember, to Ma Long.
5-3.
A little bit of side spin on that.
Side spin in that. That's a lovely flick from Ma Long, not the usual one.
Again, that variation. So what was that serve there?
It had a lot of backspin. I mean, it doesn't look like I put that in the net a lot of times too.
Yeah, and to think that, I mean, Fan Zhendong's obviously seen that serve so many times.
Yes, and that speaks of the quality of serve.
4-6.
That one is the side top.
Yeah,
serve.
that's a bit side top, but then it just went a little long and just punished it.
So Fan Zhendong had the 3-2 lead in this game. We're starting to get vocal, and then Ma Long really. Ma Long now getting vocal. Strong pivot. That time into the backhand and more into the middle.
Middle side. That was lethal. So powerful.
What happened there?
I hit the banana flick. I think it was a little slow one. Ma Long was really not happy about it.
He's still shaking his head. He's saying, come on, can't miss that. Well, I tell you, 99.99% of the rest of the population would have missed it too. Probably 100. Oh, brilliant flick, Fan Zhendong. Changed the direction, went out to the forehand. Have a look, Ma Long. It was pretty balanced, but he still couldn't make it. Ma Long went into the middle. Fan Zhendong took it. Ma Long after this, whether we'll see his reaction. He just stops and he thinks, oh my goodness, did that really happen? Thought I had it. Back to 7-all.
Unforced error. Fine.
A little bit of tension.
Yes, I think probably he's getting closer and he wants to just finish up points.
Wowee. Not too much wrong with that serve.
No, I think it was a little bit of more of an half long. You can't have that room with Ma Long.
Went down the line again, Ma Long. That time Fan not ready for it. He's probably just surprised that the ball did stray long on the serve and he wasn't
ready for it, yes.
Zhendong just tosses the ball back. Taking time. He'd like to close it out here. Doesn't want this going to a 7th. Well, 9-all. Fan Zhendong just 2 points away. So they've tied it up here, 9-all. Can Fan Zhendong close it out? He knows they've played 4 7-setters before. Ma Long's taken them all in the 7th. He'd like to see this. Oh, what a ball! And you see Fan Zhendong is pumped. That backhand and then this forehand brings up match championship point. 1 point from the Asian Cup, but more. A chance to beat Ma Long for the 2nd time in his career. 2 weeks out from the World Championships. And Zhendong serving. Match point. And he was there. Ma Long went down the line again. Fan Zhendong was there again, but he just could not make it. All. And Zhendong, Ma Long. Who is it going to be? Ma Long is wiping the sweat, taking time, thinking. What do I do? Serve? What do I do? Direction. Oh, what a return for Fan Zhendong. Ma Long went short to the forehand and have a look at this return. So good, such good quality.
Yeah, he's a similar one, just a couple of points back.
Match point number 2. There it is! Wow, wow, wow! Fan Zhendong, Asian Cup champion, winning 4 games to 2. 9-11, 12-10, 9-11, 11-7, 11-8, 12-10. Fan Zhendong staking a claim for the #1 place in the world. Unbelievable table tennis. Ma Long won't be too disappointed with that effort.
It was a fantastic match coming back after a gap.
So, Fan Zhendong, he's been threatening for a long time to take this mantle. Do you think this is a big turning point in world table tennis?
Definitely, I think it's a big tournament for him, and the way he played today, especially the last 2 games, showed he's no less than Ma Long, and he can be the greatest player in the world right now.
And so, Fan Zhendong takes the 32nd Lion ITTF ATTU Asian Cup, beating Ma Long 4 games to 2 in the final. And thank you, Satya Nanasekaran, for joining me in the commentary box and adding those wonderful words of wisdom to such a magnificent match.
Thank you so much. It was an honor for me as well.